Hi, my name is Peter Cox and I am host and executive producer of Bridge TV. In February 2023, the Gold Coast Congress was again played in Queensland, Australia. It is the largest bridge congress in Australia and one of the leading bridge congresses in the world, with about 2,000 players, including 44 from overseas and 190 players from New Zealand. We were particularly pleased this year to have some of America's best young players, including Finn Kolesnik and Adam Kaplan, Kevin Rosenberg and Amber Lynn. Actually, Finn Kolesnik and Adam Kaplan won the main pairs event. Now, Finn and Kevin Rosenberg gave a wonderful and entertaining lesson about winning the Soloway. That's an NABC event recently in Phoenix, Arizona. The special connection here is that Finn Kolesnik was playing with an Australian New Zealander now living in the USA, Ishmael Del Monte, and Kevin was playing with Simon Cope from the UK. In the semi-finals of the Soloway teams in the last quarter, they were down 46 imps against the famous Fleischer 10 and got up to win. In the final, the Cope team played against the Street team and in the third quarter was down 33-20 when the Street team went on a 23-0 run. In the last quarter of the final, Cope was down by 24 imps with 5 boards to play. The full talk goes for 45 minutes. However, we're going to shorten it, but start with a funny self-deprecating story told by Finn about Ishmael, who many of our Australian players will know well as a champion player, teacher and bridge club owner when he lived in Australia. Finn is age only 19 and is the shorter of the two, and Kevin is age 26. Enjoy.
So he played the 8 of clubs, they played low and dummy, and instead of letting them rough, I decided to rough my partner's winner. So, in fact, after the over rough, they still went down. So at my table, I roughed my partner's winner, and we still beat them. And whereas Kevin played it, nicely enough to make it regardless. So it was another swing for us, even though I was not happy about this hand.
What did Ishmael say when you roughed his winner?
He didn't say much, but he looked. Yeah, he did not look happy, but fortunately there was a screen, so it was more of just a slam. I couldn't see his face. Okay, so on to the next board. On board 49, in third seat, I was dealt this hand, so 2 passes to me, and I have this 21-point hand, with some good cards, 5-card suit. So I opened 2 clubs, and Ish bid 2 diamonds, which is just waiting. And out of the blue, my right-handed opponent doubled for the lead. I was not expecting that, especially given how good my diamonds were. But what now? My original plan was going to be to just show my 5-card spade suit. But now 2 diamonds redoubled is an option. So looking at my hand, I have the Ace Queen 10 8 of diamonds over them, and what looks like the Ace King. So it didn't look like I would need much for my partner to take 8 tricks, and obviously when I have those top 8 tricks, I might be able to tap them, might be able to set up some other side suits, and that's opposite nothing for partner. And if partner has nothing, then 2 diamonds redoubled will beat our game, but we probably can't even make a game. I only have 21 points. So I decided to redouble, and Ish was cooperative and passed. Fortunately, I didn't even have to play this hand. I got to happily put down my dummy and let him play it. So Ish did something, to taunt them a little bit. Normally, you're not allowed to look at the back of the bidding card. It has all the scores on it. But during the hand, Ish wanted to, maybe rub it in a little bit. So he pulled out the back of the 2 diamonds card about midway through the play, and as you can see in the picture on the right, the guy taking a look, he thought it was funny, but I was feeling a little more confident once this happened. So he actually could have made 4, but he played it pretty normally, and you know, basically he had to decide, okay, he could make 2 or 4, or he could guarantee 3, and he decided to guarantee 3 for 760 and a 7-up win. At the other table, they played 4 spades, making 6, which is, you know, completely normal. You are on a finesse for 6, but it kind of, I mean, maybe you need a little more, so it's not a good slam. So now we are on the second to last board. This board was played in 3 no trump at both tables, the same auction, the same lead, and the declarers played it the exact same way for about the first eight tricks. So starting on the 9 of diamonds lead, they won, and they decided to run all of their clubs. And at our table, we decided we did not pitch any diamonds. Both of us, we saved all of our diamonds, and so when we got in, we set up a diamond, and we had 3 diamonds and 2 aces. So we beat it. At the other table, that they played the side suit for him, so Kevin was able to make an over trick. Yeah, I think we should. We're gonna have time. Yeah, we have more hands to do. Yeah, we have more hands to do.
Yeah, I don't think we were kind of just gonna give these hands to go for like the narrative because these were the last 2 hands.
These hands were really difficult to go through because the play was very non-concrete, and there wasn't even much interesting. Basically,
I think
they just screwed it up against Kevin, and we didn't screw it up, you know. But it was a key board for us winning the match.
Yeah, this club because this was the second to last board of the match, and the last one was the last board of the match. And we were down.
Yeah, you can see the score in the bottom left of each diagram. So 29 was the second last board, and we were still trailing by 17 outs. Oh, question over there.
At both tables, the 1 no trump overcall was avoided?
No.
Right.
There's one trick. The first trick is already played in the diagram. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So they yeah. So that's a good question. Yeah. So basically, yeah, it was with a singleton, and so you can take a look at the West hand. It's the same hand you see, except you're right with the stiff 6 of diamonds instead of the void you're seeing there, and it went 2 passes to 1 club to him. And so he has this, really nice looking 16 count, ace, king, queen, 10, 5th of clubs over the 1 club opener. So, there's a good chance, of missing a game if he passes. So he doesn't have any other suit to overcall. Even if he could bid 2 clubs naturally, I don't know if he wants to, that looks like more clubs and not the points he has. So even though he has a stiff diamond, 1 no trump is overall a great description. He has, cards in every other suit. If partner usually does not want to play in diamonds also, if partner is going to transfer or bid stamen, it's okay. We have both of the majors covered.
This is a good example of looking at the vulnerability, I think. For instance, if I was favorable on this hand, non-vulnerable versus vulnerable, I would be most inclined to just pass and look to just defend, because I'm hoping that the opponents just are going to get to a counter they can't make, and I get the vulnerable under tricks when they're vulnerable, and I care less about missing a non-vulnerable game when I'm non-vulnerable. On this hand, I was vulnerable, so the risk of missing a game, I was more worried about it, which is why I would have overcalled a no trump, and probably why the other person at the other table did too.
Yep. I mean, your only other option basically is to overcall a 4-card spade suit, but at that point you can describe basically, 12 of your 13 cards, or you can describe, just say I have 5 spades, which you don't have, and you have way more points than, partner might think you have. So after this 3 no trump board, that was 12 imps for our side, and it took us to the final board. On the final board, our table was quite boring. We each opened 1 no trump. I did 3 spades, which showed, we have a great achievement for my hand. It says I have 1 spade, 3 hearts, 5 4 minors, and a game forcing hand. So I was happy to do that. And Ish chose 4 hearts. And at our table, all he had to do is, play the hearts normally. He has ace, jack, 10, 5th, opposite king, 3rd. So in case it's stiff queen or 4-1, the normal play is to cash the king first. If you cash the ace first and try to take the finesse the other way, you can't pick up 4-1 on your left. but 4-1 on your right is no problem because you can just play 1 to the jack, get back to dummy, and then lead towards the 10 again. So we played 4 hearts. He did guess that to make 5, and flat board. We finished first, and we were able to look at the other table, and we saw, oh shit, we're down by 5 imps, and there's no imps to be won on this board. It's a flat 4 hearts. You're either going to make 4 or 5. At the other table, for whatever reason, the south hand did not open 1 no trump. So Kevin was able to get in with 2 spades, and Simon, cooperated. He bid 4 spades, and they pushed him to 5 hearts. 5 hearts also looks cold. Again, the normal way to play hearts, and even play the preemptor for the queen of hearts is another thing. You're guessing hearts, but we're watching the last hand. He starts thinking, and everyone's thinking, okay, he's gonna get it right. It's just a normal way to play the hearts.
He thought for about 6-7 minutes.
Yeah.
It was very it was probably more stressful for the people outside because I didn't know the match was at stake when he was thinking at the table. But yeah, he thought for 6 or 7 minutes, and then eventually, he got the hearts wrong. He played ace of hearts and ran the jack of hearts to the queen, and that went down too. It was
Yep, and so after and I'm sure he was not happy with this because then it erupted outside once he lost to the queen. The other team did not have many fans, so it went. He was not happy. Okay, So basically, there's one really there's one interesting thing about this. So if you look, there's our table is a better diagram. If you look at the top diagram, if East-West decides to lead spade and a spade, then dummy is left with king and 1 heart. So that actually nullifies the difference of which way you should play the heart suit, because if they don't tap it right, now you can pick up 4-1 hearts on your right. But if they do tap dummy, now you're going to be left with king and 1 heart opposite ace jack 10 5th. So if you can play king of hearts, heart to the jack, but there's no more heart and dummy to repeat the finesse, you're still going to lose a heart trick. So when they decided not to tap the dummy, then there's the same thing.
It's a bit of a psychology thing, but one way to look at it is imagine I had queen 3rd of hearts with the west hand, and I'd tricked 1 with the king of spades. There's a decent chance that a lot of people might think, hey, I should play a 2nd spade because this forces them to ruff with the 2 of hearts, and now I'm definitely going to make my queen of hearts. In order for me not to make my queen of hearts, they'd have to take a 1st round heart finesse by running the jack, which they're probably not going to do. So it's sort of an instinctive play if you have the queen of hearts with the west hand to force dummy to ruff with the 2 of hearts, which means I don't know why the declarer did what they did, but I think it's an interesting psychology thing when we didn't tap dummy with hearts. Now I think maybe honestly I led the king of spades and shifted to a club to the ace, and we returned to club. But honestly, I think maybe it would have actually been better defense psychologically for us to tap the dummy with spades, because if I was the declarer and the defense had gone king of spades, spade, I would almost be more inclined to think, oh, West has the queen of hearts, because they made a rough and dummy, which looks like West has the queen of hearts. So I might have actually been more inclined to finesse them.
Great question. Yeah, it wasn't as clear cut. Yeah, because exactly, there were 2 ways to play the hearts, but everyone thought because he was wrong here, everyone thought he was an idiot. If he was right, it would have been the other way. I'm sure. People are very result oriented. So, anyways, yeah.